Alright, here's my first question. Do you guys remember Night Flight? Did you ever watch any of those?
Night Flight, the show,
They used to, they were like the first people to run like Power Rangers. They were the original Power Rangers. They also used to run all the old like Lego animations.
Yes, okay, I remember that. They had, yes.
That was the first time
Oh.
I saw like
I was going to say.
it leads into something.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
End of question. Do you remember it? Yes. What are you guys biggest influences for you in terms of visual style? What's
Well, I designed on the show, and Christy has this whole thing, which I guess me and him both got into kind of years back. We both worked at MTV, and it was, and we did a lot of kind of attempts at doing this, where it looks like what a kid draws on his notebook in like high school or junior high school, like dudes kicking someone's brains in, or lightning bolts and people shooting each other, this stuff that a kid pissed off with or whatever, was right, like rock and roll and that kind of stuff. So that was the kind of stuff we were both kind of going for, and then when SuPeRJaiL started happening, he got, that style evolved, and so that's what it's trying to be, not too, professional, trying to kind of flatten the whole thing out and make it look like, look at a kid in high school, just like, here's what if these guys ran in here, and it's
Very like indie comics inspired and old school like Mad Magazine, and I think that's a lot of, we all have the same influences in that stuff.
right. And like
Hi.
kind of,
Hi.
Hi.
So, Janine, as the new head writer, how do you feel is this a scary project, or I can tackle this head on, or?
It was super scary because, Chris, there were lots of other people who kind of led the writing before, and it just was, the show moved so quickly, I had to just watch the episodes over and over and over again to sort of catch up on what had happened, how to sort of give the show, they wanted to sort of combine elements of the two seasons.
Right.
And also the writing schedule is very tight because they have to start actually animating it.
All right. So for those who don't know what SuPeRJaiL is, could you give a whole brief topical sentence about it, or guys?
Have any of you ever been locked up?
What's the elevator pitch?
Yeah.
What's the elevator pitch?
I know. Well, Christy kind of sells it as like a prison that's run by like a Willy Wonka type.
Right, Willy Wonka
had his own prison.
Had a prison.
And
it was a little more demented.
Yeah.
Even more demented.
So what would the food be like?
I don't know, it's just kind of slop.
The food is slop, but
yeah, the food is prison food.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't have any wacky food.
Are the Oompa Loompas like the guards?
No, I think you're being a little too literal.
Too literal.
But,
Yeah, the guards are really whacked out and spaced out and stuff. But there's the warden, who's my favorite character, by the way. It's like the real only professional one, and then there's
It's like if serial killers and rapists were being incarcerated in the chocolate factory.
By a magical.
yeah, he has
Well-intentioned
powers
narcissist.
and stuff, right? He has magical powers. And that's it.
Right. And I noticed that you said that you worked for MTV, which, by the way, Beavis and Butthead and Daria pretty much made my 90s, so to speak.
Awesome. I worked for Daria.
Yeah,
Daria's
which I'm a
the best.
huge fan of, hence the glasses.
Awesome.
But back to SuPeRJaiL, you said you're having a season 3, so what's the difference? Compare and contrast, what's going to be the difference for seasons 1, 2, and now 3? What's going to be more, what's going to be less?
I think season 1 was very super psychedelic violence, I feel like.
Yeah, because I felt like I was on an acid trip on season 1.
And season 2 was very much story oriented.
Yeah.
And I think now they're just trying to combine the two, find a nice medium between the two, the frenetic.
Okay, so like an acid
style.
trip, but with a plot.
Yeah.
And we can say we're bringing back the violence at the end where they have this, right?
Yeah,
which is my favorite.
Really one of the things, from the writing standpoint, one of the things
Sure you
do is just be out there. Literally leave more room in the scripts for Christy and these guys to really do what makes SuPeRJaiL really good. So we would write and try to give it like story and character development, but leave just in page count room for these guys to do like crazy transitions and fight sequences, and then even in the editing of it, like Steve and Christy, if I would sit in, would just really take away as much of the writing as we could to let all that stuff tell the story.
That's great, really.
So, I'm a huge fan of the show.
Oh, awesome.
I noticed that you guys in the second season started to bring in more prominent characters that show up again. Are you guys going to make some more characters that will show up in season 3?
The
There are some
original
new.
prisoners, right? The
Like a
inmates.
stingray.
You got Stingray.
Those guys are there. You're saying we're bringing more?
Yeah, we
Are you going to add any more prominent characters like Stingray or UltraJail or any
Yeah,
of those guys coming back?
We are introducing some new characters this year. There's
Right.
the one based on Petey.
Right?
Yeah, the
That's
producer of
true.
the show.
It's not based on it, but it looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And then there are some kin of twins, maybe.
Yeah. There's a whole the twins has a they have an episode.
Do you identify
that gets
to any
more
of the
deep into
characters?
I haven't
the
seen
twins
them this
world.
season so far.
Yeah, people have been wondering.
That is unfortunate for the world. I feel personally.
Can you guys relate to any of the characters, so to speak?
I don't know. I feel like when I work on the show, it's just like, oh my god, this is work. You know,
It's like I wake up in the morning like,
it's
holy
fun.
crap, I'm
It's
working with
fun work, yeah.
SuPeRJaiL.
I've never really tried to identify with any of the characters.
Yeah.
Maybe Jared because he's so stressed out.
I think as writers, when we do the writing, we have to identify
Yeah.
with them more because we're constantly asking, like, well, what would he do next? What would then it's like, oh, if I ever, tried to reform a serial killer, well, what would I?
Okay.
But I like Ash. I kind of relate to Ash.
Okay.
Oh, you know, stuff. You don't have to. Nothing bad.
So do you guys have any skeletons in your closet that you'd like to share?
No, not particularly. Not really. I think I said everything I wanted to say about that.
All right.
Yeah.
One
Where'd you
question?
come up with the inspiration for the? I can't think of the name. I'm losing it. The guard, the big guard, the big girl.
Alice.
Alice. I thought Dallas. I'm like I lost it. Where'd you come up with the
I wasn't
information?
around then.
That would have been one of Christie's deal.
Yeah.
And so he does the voice of Alice. And then, I think it was a pretty simple backstory, and then they started to, expand on it last season, right? We had, that he was a man and all that stuff. But so that was before I worked on the show as a voice actor only in the beginning, and essentially I came into they're like, what would the twins, I just auditioned as the twins, and I just did that voice, and they were like, okay, we like that, so they had already made up Alice at that point, and I had nothing to do with it.
Alright, so for a little while, would you like doing like a sales pitch, like watch season 3 of SuPeRJaiL, anything like that, or?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty
that.
awesome.
Or, yeah.
I
You don't have to
think
be
it's
fancy
gonna-
about it.
Yeah, I think fans are really gonna
I
be
think
psyched about it because it has like the best parts of both seasons.
I think it's the best shit that's
Yeah.
So that's right, you get the best of both worlds for season
Yeah.
3.
3 is the
animation.
the episodes get better and better.
Everything. Yeah, I think just the whole product overall is probably the best it's been.
Alright.
Do you see the promo for the PD episode ran, right? And that's when it starts. I think that episode when it started to just like we started noticing that the boards got crazier and crazier,
Yeah.
and everybody was going, "How the hell are we gonna make this?" But it got made.
Right.
And I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and from then on, everybody's just been more progressively psyched.
So for the fans and the sick demented freaks out there, you guys gotta watch this season.
Yeah,
There's
keep
gonna-
watching because it does get crazier. Like
Yeah.
we started to really pack the episodes.
I think this is our best work.
So how much fun do you have when you write an
I'll have to be the
episode?
judge of that one.
We have fun and agony at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of takeout food.
Yeah, I'm really big on the ordering of the food. That's
What do
like-
you eat?
I eat everything. I mean, Steve and Christy would just laugh at me because I would eat so much food. And the first thing we would do was order, and then we'd wait around an hour for the food to get there.
How New York of you?
Christy likes that Vietnamese soup stuff.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That's good.
All of that.
New York is the best.
How do you
I
eat?
got-
How do you eat when you're making all this gore and this violence? How do you eat during
They're writing it, so she's talking about the
Yeah, we
writer
don't have to
meeting.
actually see it, but I don't know how
so
these
you
guys
would-
eat ever.
And we have offices and, eat in seclusion, like in the dark, And then back to work.
Very short lunch breaks.
Yeah.
And-
I bet, yeah, that's very true. It's a grueling schedule. I guess.
How long does it take to edit one show?
To edit it?
It's a long process.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in on
Yeah, so the voices are recorded and then they edit the voice record, so just the voice radio play is what it's called. So that gets edited. And then Christy storyboards to that.
With other storyboard artists.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we take all the storyboards that those guys come up with, and those get put in, and then there's a whole other round of editing.
Right.
And then rough animation.
Yeah, layout, rough animation,
Right.
which is like 2 to 3. Well, we're supposed to have 3 weeks, but it takes 3 to 4.
It gets all kind of like more and more backed up.
And they're cleaning up the animation as Steve is rough cutting the edit, and then maybe making more changes.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorts of things.
And he's working usually on 4 or 5 episodes at once, editing the coming in and coming out type of stuff.
And then sometimes we decide, we didn't write something perfectly, so we'll go in and pick up a line or two. The voice
Right.
actors will change it, cut a scene, and put a new one in.
Yeah, people think it's just like that, right? Yeah.
14
Who
months.
thinks that?
I don't
They're
know.
wrong.
Exactly.
I think part of SuPeRJaiL's charm is that it's, even though it's digital, it's all hand drawn, frame by frame, traditionally. So,
Which a lot of people don't get every day.
yeah, so it's very labor intensive, and it also kind of gives it its style.
Because everything's so CGI now.
Yeah.
It's super collaborative too, which is what I like about it. Every step of the way, like when Steve will call and say, come in and watch the edit at this step, like the rough animations, I'll see all sorts of more jokes or things in the background that we didn't write. Those guys
We're allowed to help
make it
write on the fight stuff. So I got to write on the Magic episode, how the fights were at the end, and that was awesome. Christy was like, I'm out of ideas on this one or something. And I was
Right, like visuals.
So we got to just.
Did you meet at the show, or did you know each other already?
Well, from being Christy worked at Daria together in the background department, in backgrounds or whatever. So that was 1998 or 1999 or something like that.
I was in high school. I met these guys on the job. When a couple of years ago in season 2.
SuPeRJaiL.
I just met everyone this year.
You guys are lucky. Good luck.
And he worked on Sunday.
Stay out of jail.
Do you have any plans to try and take it to 22 minutes?
I don't think so. I mean, I worked on Metalocalypse when I went from 11 to 22, and I really like the 11-minute format.
Sure.
So I don't know if the creators want to try and take it to 22, but I really like it.
Turn it up to 11, right?
All right.
I know this is a swing, but so you said you work on Metalocalypse?
I did, yeah.
You did? Or
Oh,
you
what?
you still do?
Yeah.
Any words on the new season coming up? I heard at the end of the last season was fantastic, huge,
Yes.
huge
Ending.
Huge,
ending.
dramatic
You guys,
ending,
any words on that?
And I storyboarded that show, that season,
Really?
last season, yeah.
which was great, by the way.
It left, they left some solved bits, right?
Right.
So that kind of gives you the impression, and I think if there's enough pressure, they'll make another season.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard. I mean, I talked to Brendan
no
quite a
word
bit,
yet?
so.
Yeah, I texted him. I told him, come on, let's make some more. Let's make some more.
Cringing, I'm like, don't disappear, don't.
Oh, he's going to go on tour.
Well, thank you
Thank you so much.
Very much.
We're going to post it on YouTube.